Welcome to Bunny Designs. This may turn out to be just video. So thanks for watching, guys. Having a spotted bother with the internet. So I'm going to work in the Geomorphia by Kobe Rosanna. I don't think I've worked in this one before. I'm having a bit of a practice and can't decide, because I can't decide what colours to do. I kind of have a bit of a play, and this is a good idea. That's why we've got this practice, I call a practice page. Just going to have a go with this one. We need a fairly strong colour that we can kind of use in one place. I think these might be snow-capped. I'm not 100% sure, so trying to see what it would look like if it was snow coloured. I'm going to take this one out, seeing as I can, because I haven't actually put it into the so I'm using amethyst here, so we want quite a strong one. I want quite a deep colour, and then we can come back somewhere else. And then go back. It's kind of really pale. So I kind of want a really kind of strong colour first. And then you can kind of work around. I am kind of trying to leave a little bit of snow. Still not happy with that colour, so let's try this one. Quite a strong colour. And then it gets paler and paler. I think the one I like the best is this one, but I wanted we did want kind of all sorts of colours. So I might just do a mixture. Instead of doing it all one, I might do different ones together. So we'll try that one. Put that back where it belongs. So if we pick two different ones, this is a very, very strong pink is this one. I still can't decide if that's snow or not. I don't know if anybody else has painted this one. I did have my little sponge handy yesterday, but it's disappeared. So a yellow one here. Oh, that's too wet. No, I'm just not happy with that. I don't think I like the mixture one. I don't like the one that's all the same, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to play this. Let's try this one. So we'll try that one. The brush is too wet now. I've made the brush too wet now. Let's start again. Because we've got quite strong there. Go back to that one, which is paler now. Don't think there's any chance of getting bored with all these colours, so that's going there. Might have to do 2 at a time. I've got this brush very wet now. Don't want it. We don't want it that wet. I'm still convinced that this is snow on the crystals because it's not a sharp point. So I'm still convinced that this is snow. I kind of like that bit there, but I'm not sure if I like. For some reason, this brush has got very wet. It's not working. I don't know why. It's never done this before. It's never done this before. I used it all day yesterday and it didn't do anything like this. So I'm not sure what it's doing. hope I've just restored chat, but it's not looking good. I'm not sure if I like that. And again, I'm still convinced this is a kind of snow. So I cannot believe this brush. It's never. I've been using it for years, and it's never done this. I'm still convinced that's snow. I think I like the multicolored one rather than the plain one. But again, I'm still convinced that that's snow. I may have to start at the front and work backwards because some of these, we're not sure what they are, but I think that's snow. And that's snow. That's a bit of snow. It could have possibly a green. Emerald green. Oh, hi, Sandpat. Welcome to Bunny Designs. I've still got a croaky voice. I think the internet's playing up. So I'm struggling a bit with this page. It's not my favorite, and it's the first page. And I might have to break my rule because I really haven't the patience today to color this in. I need to touch and go, and it's too taxing to guess what's what. So I'm going to break my rule and not work on that one. I just realised there's some foxes in here. At first I just thought it was swells, but they're I think they're hounds, some kind of hounds erupting. It's my least favourite book, and I bought 3 of them. And there's some beasts coming out of there. I did think I'd like to do the jellyfish, but it's far too complicated, that, and it'll be so monotonous. So I don't actually think there's anything I can. I got so excited when I saw it. It's kind of not grown on me, kind of thing. Let's have a look what's in this one. What I would normally do in this one is draw some backgrounds in, but I don't feel very well, so this is going to be, it's got to be colouring for therapy. I'm not doing very well today, guys. I'm not doing very well at all. Let's have a look in this one. Can't get away from crystals. Just, oh, hi Melody, welcome to Bunny Designs. She's got some wooden beads and some geese. Again, sometimes if you're not particularly very well, you want to colour, but again, you don't want to colour huge. I want something that's going to be kind of simple but effective, if that makes any sense. And I'll do this page. So this is it's not Daydreams. This one is this Summertime. I can't remember what that one's called. And I think I'll work with the Peerless on this one. Oh, it's all one page because her hair goes that way. So we want a strawberry colour. I think I'm going to use Tea Rose Red. So if we start at the top, we can have it darker here, and then it will go lighter. So the Kirby's, the patterned one, the geo shapes, kind of really got my head. And again, I think that's why sometimes we have the different colour books for when we're in different stages. That's the kind of easy colouring I want to do today. So about a pinhead. And the brush was misbehaving earlier, but maybe I was using it wrong. I don't know. Now seems to be a bit better. And just manipulate that round. So we're using about a pinhead. And we need to just stroke the page if we want to keep the minimum amount of water to come out. We want some to come out. We want it to dilute this colour in a very gentle, smooth way, and that's what it's doing. So I've ended up with some quite nice ones. I'm going to touch in a different place, about a pinhead. A pinhead. A pinhead gives you that, less than a pinhead gives you that. So you're not always doing exactly the same, and so that's why you get a tiny bit of variation, and that's quite nice. If you're doing a mandala, then you want the exact amount, but if you're doing something like this, it gives the page a bit more realism. So go somewhere else, a pinhead, and again, it's about the consistency of a marker. So it goes on wet, and with an instant it's dried, but there's just water in here. There's no acetate. So again, a pinprick, or a pinhead rather, I should say, a pinhead worth of colour. The more colour you get on the brush, the less highlight you're going to get. So if you want a flat colour, pick up more colour. If you want a bit of a watercolour effect, and a pinhead for this would be solid colour because it's a smaller space. So I don't know if you can see that light that I'm picking up. That's where I'm working, where there's the pinhead. You see those little pinheads? So you've got to be kind of comfortable, but as I say, sometimes, like that Kirby one, I just didn't have the energy for that Kirby. I don't feel particularly very well, but I don't want to sit there watching TV. So this kind of colouring is just perfect. It's not very energetic. It's very calming, and I think I'd be able to do this page today. And this is what colouring's about. Some days you don't have any energy, and you don't feel particularly well, but you don't want to waste the day. So this is something you can do even if you're not feeling 100%. And remember, the bigger the space, you want that tiny bit more colour there. Remember, it is a watercolour. It will move. It's not like the Inktense. It will move again. These are watercolours. The same with the Derwent Inktense watercolour paints. They're the same. The same with the Hydrus. They're the same. Just put those on to stop a lot of the black. My camera doesn't like a lot of black, a lot of white, beg your pardon. It starts to flash. So again, you want to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you can't colour for a long time. I'm just going to put that under there because I'm at an edge. So if you do this, you've got no chance of doing colour on the next page, or transferring colour to the next page, I should say. If you just give those gentle little strokes, you're not going to activate that brush to give a lot of water. And the consistency is of a marker, so it goes down and within 20 seconds it's dried. And it glides on like a marker. They kind of really glide really soft. Hi, Melody. He was in the doghouse a minute ago. Because he says, I'll cook you some chips and egg. And I went, well, you know I can't have chips and egg. So it's like, ah. So I've actually got some colour on here now, and I don't need it. So let's see if I've got any more strawberries. Oh, yes. Luckily, I've got some more strawberries down here. So that was quite lucky. And again, I need to put a piece of paper underneath so I don't contaminate the page below. I'm not very well, so it's not going to be perfect. But thank you, Melody. Yes, he's fine. Bless him. He's fine. So again, a pinprick of colour. And away we go. And this paper is probably the thickest of all the papers, apart from the watercolour paper. So I hope everybody's well and keeping safe. I need a little bit more there now because it's a slightly bigger strawberry. So I think I put some of these in your little book, Melody, the little watercolour book I made you. I think I put some little squares of these. I don't know if you've used them yet. But they're really easy to do. They're really easy to use. You just touch and go. So I've got one more stroke. And again, I'm being fairly careful, but it's not as taxing as thinking about all those crystals today when I've already got a bad head. it just wasn't an option. And although I again, this is what colour books are for. You have to pick a page that you're going to enjoy colouring, because if you don't, it causes you more stress. And I was just getting more and more stressed with that page, because I knew I could do a better job of it when I feel better. So sometimes you just have to break your own rules and go for it. So so I like the tea rose red. So I don't think I've got any more strawberries, but I can come back. Now I've fixed my little, I did have it yesterday, my little sponge, and then within a day, sorry guys, it'll be a rattle. And there it is. So we're just using this to clean the brush. And just trap it there, then I can use it. So we've got got some nice flowers. These flowers down here, they're different. So we've got 3 different types of flowers, and we've got a couple of butterflies. I think I'll do the butterfly next. Shall I do the leaves? Do the strawberry leaves. So we'll look at our greens. Olive green looks like it's nearly out, but let's just see what we get. So we're oh, there's Woo Woo talking. She woos a lot, bless her. And I'm then hoping that's going to go into a brown. So touch the olive and again. So this little brush does quite a lot of things. It's quite a nice little brush. Not getting a highlight, but I'm not really particularly bothered about a highlight. And although that looks like it's all gone, there's lots of oh no, this is I put Derwent watercolor in and Winsor & Newton paint. And there were some little squares of these. There were some little tiny squares of colour of these. I'm sure there were, because that's how I've ended up with that little square. They should be about this size, because these were the strips. So there should be some little strips of colour. But it is a handy little book to use. She's a big woo-woo girl. She doesn't bark, she woo-woos. She does have a bark. We'd had her for weeks before she barked, but she's a woo-woo. So again, it's just this touch and go system. It's very therapeutic because they're quite nice lines. They're quite big spaces. Today I would have struggled with those crystals, thinking what's high and what's low and what's medium. And it would be more stressful than it would be not. And I didn't want to put myself in that position. So again, just there's still some colour left on this olive. I will have to revamp this particular one. And again, it's just like using a marker, but it's a water base, so you can think of the tip of the brush as a marker, but you don't get the lines that you get when you do with markers. So it's just a barely damp brush. And I just need to go back to the tea rose red because I missed that bit there. And now I have a tiny little bit of tea rose red. What have we got? Just do this. And there's a bit there. I hate to waste it, but it's gone now, so it's fine. Just your hand will do all that. So all those strawberries I think are done now. I think my camera must have moved. I'll have to move it across. Butterflies. I think we'll flip to the turquoise. I need it on this side really because I'm left-handed and it's just easier for me. I had to fill the water jug up last night and I've crunched crunched this bit here, so that's not big. And again, you've got to be comfortable. Now, normally what I would do, but I know this is new, I'd put a piece of paper on here before I put that on because you don't want to damage it. But I can't find one, so I'm sure it'll be fine. So now I need, I think we'll have, what have we got there? There's quite a lot of it. Deep blue. Let's have a look. I think we've got viridians. I think we'll start the butterfly. And again, about a pinhead. We're just pushing that colour around. So the more you pick up, the less kind of watercolor effect you've got. But as I say, it's just nice to just push that colour around. If I go where it's pale there, I should get a little bit of pale. So then I need a kind of a turquoise blue, I think would be nice. And in that first bit, I think. So we need a deep blue. I think I'm going to keep for the jewels. Possibly could have a yellow body. Got to clean that brush because I've been using a darker colour. So we've got brilliant yellow, which I think will do. Remember, we've still got some of that colour. Maybe just that one. And then I think we'll have kind of a geranium pink, I think, in there. It's just a pinhead because it's going to be quite vibrant in there. Geranium pink is one of my favourite colours as well. And I do have a little bit of this colour left, so I'm not quite sure what to do with it. Her lips. Top one first. And then bottom one. So I need some kind of purple to go in there, I think. I think we'll have Helly Taupe. And I think we'll go think I need? Sky blue, I think. Sky blue. And tea rose red, I think. Blood red, I think. I need something a bit stronger. These are really, really bright colours. I think I'm going to do, I think I might do these flowers that colour. This is almost like a flame. Now that was a tea rose red, so I may have to do those tea rose red as well. And I do have a bit of this colour on here, so I'm just going to go over this. I just don't want to waste the colour. So that could possibly be gold. I think I'm going to do these gems. I think I've chosen a blue for that. I think I'm going to choose deep blue for these. I don't know, I got green for the leaves. Yeah, I think I'll have this deep blue. And that is only a pinprick because these is very strong, this colour. So if we do all these first. Very strong, this deep blue. Really strong. So she. So I hope this isn't too boring, guys. It's just like watching paint dry. It's see, if you scrub, you can get rid of that. But we can't really do too much scrubbing on there. So we need to pick a nice golden colour for the gold. I think I'm going to pick this colour. And again, just give a little bit of variation. Follow that all the way to the top. This little brush does do quite well. And because we're just touching the tip, we're not activating too much water out. So again, it makes it that little bit easier. So we need chrome orange. Again, just using that tip. Now, if I'd have started at the other side, I would have had a natural highlight. So the darker one would have been inside. And I've done it the wrong way around, but it's fine, it's make-believe. So if I do the inside first, by the time I get right round, and this shows you just how strong these colours are. You know, it's a pinprick. Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you, Melody. That's the only thing now with the phones, we have to keep in touch, don't we, Sue? So I need to put some colour around there, but again, I don't know what I want to do, so I'm going to leave it. I think the best thing to do is, if you're not quite sure, always leave it, and you can come back to it. I've got gold here. She does have a gold nose ring. And what other gold things have we got? This probably would be gold. I think I might do the yellow. Again, it's make believe, you can do what you want. But that gets my little bit of yellow in there. I like to get a mix of colours. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Hope you find this interesting. It's a very simple way to work, but you can see different paints react differently with different pages. But I really like working in this kind of simple way. So I did say that that was going to be gold as well, didn't I? So we'll do this. So again, a pinhead size is going to do all this. So they go a long way to these. And it's quite therapeutic. You're just plodding along, and it's not too taxing. We don't want anything too taxing, but we want to make a good job of it. And again, I love this little brush that, even though I've had it a while and it's sprayed out at the edges a bit, it still will pick up some nice fine work. And I do really like my little brush. I think I'm going to do that gold as well. These could be gold as well. Part of the headdress. I have a tiny bit of gold left on here. Oh, I've missed this bit, so I'm going to have to get a bit more gold. I think this is the headdress. And when I say gold, it's called golden yellow. Is this in the peerless? It's golden yellow. What else have we got? This gold. I think that's everything. Perhaps she could have golden eyes. So I need to do this flame here. So we need quite a strong red. So I've got that red that's quite nice. I think scarlet would be good. So again, I do just want a pinprick this time because this is going to be really strong. And this one here as well. So I've got a little bit of a highlight going on there. I want a certain green for these, like a fake, kind of a fake green. Let's see if we've got a nice I think I'm going to put this like an emerald green. So I need a green for here. This green probably would look nice. So this time I need a little bit of water to pick up a fair amount of colour. So it's lovely paper to work on, is this? It really is nice paper. It literally just glide. I've got a tiniest amount of a highlight. think it's a combination of nice paper. I'm working slightly wetter, but I'm not rubbing. I'm only going once over because the combination of more water and rubbing, that's what causes the damage. And I've missed this one with its gold. So we are working a little bit wetter now because it's a bigger space. That requires clean the brush and put some more of the yellow gold, or golden yellow, which I missed there. No, I do have a bit of yellow on my brush. I don't know what to do with it. Let's have a look. That's all plants and things that don't really I suppose I could do these little stripy anymore. There's no more. Do this stripy brown as well. There we go, got rid of all that. So we've got a butterfly there, so I think we'll have a butterfly wing. Butterfly, so quite strong. And going round the butterfly wing. The other way to do it is like this. So we've got that purpley blue again. Still quite a lot of colour left on here. So it's coming along. I've done very much. I've just done the strawberries. Takes quite a bit of time, but it's enjoyable. This is the touch and go method, and this paper just really loves this kind of work. No, I did say that I would do those geranium pink. But I think as I say, we've got this type, and we've got that type. That's the same as that, but bigger then. Are they the same? No, they're different. So we have got three different types of flower. I think the blood red one would be nice for that one. We've got some gold in there. We've got the pink we want. So which red? Japonica red is quite nice. Tea rose red is lovely. I think we could have Elysian crimson. I think the pinky ones. So a touch. Oh, I don't know. This red's very, very pinky. We might do that one. A touch of this. So probably not going to get a watercolor effect. So I don't know if I like that. Because it's so strong, you're not going to get a watercolor effect. So thanks guys for popping in. Hope everybody's okay. Do say hi to each other and have a natter. It is a bit pinky, but I was in a pinky mode. If I'd have picked up a pinprick of colour, I would get a watercolour effect, but some of these are so bright and so vibrant that it's almost impossible. I need to put a piece of paper underneath for this one. Because these will run into your other pages and spoil them. Because they are so strong. And I know by now I need, gosh, they are pink. They are pink. So now I need a green for the leaves now. Hunter's green, I think. Oh no, deep Roman Greek, and probably have to take that pink off. But it's come out of there lovely. For some reason, these brushes clean really well. So now I've missed a leaf there as well, and I've missed a leaf there. Goodness me. Oh, little Alfie's outside. So I have to say I like colouring these fantasy type pages because you can kind of do anything and just pick a colour, and if it's not the right colour it doesn't matter because it's make-believe. Like that pink is a little bit too pink, but it's not going to bother me because I want bright colours in this. I want fantasy colours. So that's kind of the therapy, is we're not concerned that, oh, the flower leaf has got to be this colour green. It's just pick a green, touch and go, and that's it. And you probably find at the end it turns out okay anyway, because there aren't many colours that can't go next to each other. So that's dried. That's how dry it is. Then after 20 seconds of doing it, you can actually see it dry. I have to keep an eye on the time because I've got a hospital appointment at 4 o'clock. So that should be interesting. This is the bit when it dries up a little bit. So you have to give it a bit of a squeeze. And it comes back. Again, just pop that under there. So we don't make that green. I think that should be green. So I'm going to paint that green. I think that should be green. Missed a couple of flowers off, so I'll do the green first. You can see that actually drying. And then remember which pink it was. I think it was this one. So it is really therapeutic to do this. Again, you've got to be comfortable there. Because if you're not comfortable, you'll either end up with an aching back or you won't colour for long. And the idea is to just do this for therapy, and we're killing time at the same time, which is stopping ourselves getting stressed and bored, because at a time like this we need something to stop ourselves getting stressed and bored. So I've just got to clean this, look at the greens. Just 2 seconds. Right, so where are we now? I thought the deep green was for that one, but what did I do that one in? Oh, for goodness sake, I can't remember. So the only thing I'll have difficulty with is the face, because it'll be quite wet. Oh, thank you, Melody. I think they're slightly different. I was going to do them different because this leaf is different to this leaf. So that's what made me think they might be slightly different. And this has got a rounded middle. So I was thinking that might be different. But I suppose if I did them the same pink, but I wanted that to turn into an orange, to turn into a burnt orange to go with the burnt brown hair. Because that leaf is different to this leaf, and that leaf is different to this leaf. So I was going to do those orange and those a red, I think, geranium red. So I would have the neck's got some bits and pieces I can get round. The face has as well. I suppose it's not too big a space. That's why I normally don't like faces. I don't like faces. Shall I do those jewels next? So I think we're going to have this golden yellow again, because I think it's going to be holding the beads on. I think I'm going to do the same blue, but I think I'll do the beads differently. So that was deep blue. So these are deep blue. So we want to kind of now again we've got to that marker consistency, which would be just a flat, strong colour, just like a marker. I think we might have to do them all the same, I think. The brush is getting a bit wet now. So. Oh, I've got a highlight on this one now. Because this is not drying as quick, it's giving me time to manipulate it around. So I do have a highlight on them. Not sure if I like the highlight on them, but I've got a highlight on them. And I think we'll have this colour. So in theory then, these I'm going to do that yellow, I think. So this is dark green, but I think it's quite an emeraldy colour, so I think this looks quite nice. It's difficult when you haven't got your wrist. Oh. Oh, hi Kathleen, welcome to Bunny Science. Oh, you like the touch and go system? Oh, thank you, Gaia. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. It did take a long time, and when I was doing the Bible journey with the rigger, it took a while. But the brush, the idea of this particular type is that it's just easy, and we need something that's to de-stress us, not something to wind us up. And mixing colors at the minute and doing fine artwork is not really what we want to do, because we want to de-stress. So I'm glad you find it worked. Again, you've got to be a little bit comfortable. I've got a ridge on this. This board, this drawing board has got a ridge on it. So I hope you don't find this too boring. It's killing time, and it's very therapeutic, I have to say. You just find yourself just pluting along, and I'm not giving too much thought to what I'm doing. I mean, you could have done pink beads or any. You just need to. I should get some nice highlights on the hair, because we can do the touch and go method and get that. But smaller spaces, it's more difficult. So I kind of like that. I think I might do a pinkier red to keep in with the color scheme. But there again, sometimes it's nice to be a bit different, so it's not too much of a muchness. Because I originally thought it was a separate page. It's only when I saw the hair curling across. So I did that in that pink there. Now I've got geranium pink. I do like my tea rose red, but I think that's what I did the strawberries with. And blood red is very strong, and it should be quite nice. I think I'll do blood red. And again, just a pinhead. Well, we'll just get a pinhead for this, because we want it to be light to dark, and these are big spaces. So, but you can see how dramatic this is going to be, and just fiddle. So I'm so pleased that you're finding it easier to do. So I've got a bit of a highlight there. So it's a pinhead for a, and it's a pin prick for a little size space, and then you'll get a really nice highlight. Get a watercolor effect going light to dark. And of course these colours are really strong, so there's something quite nice taking something so dark and dramatic and making them kind of really pale, and some beautiful pinks. I've just gone over the line there, but I just can't help myself all the time. I say I should turn it over really, then I wouldn't do this. You do need to change your page because you've got to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to work. So a little touch of that, and then in here oh, Kathy's having a learning curve with the water brush. Yeah, I've tried lots of brushes, and the only one that just stays barely damp, and even that has an odd day like it did this morning. Some of them, it's very difficult because it's their nature to want to squirt water out, and of course that's just not what we want to do. Oops, that's Alfie Doodles. And I think that is just a tip of a flower there. So I'm going to do this one next. So again, for a bigger size. But this little brush does really well. I don't know what that is. That's the little, she just barks at everything, just Scooby-Doo. Sorry, Snoopy-Doo. She doesn't woo-woo this one. She barks. I'm trying not to get such a line, but I want a little bit of a highlight. So I've just got to keep this going. And this page actually is quite well behaved. This paper really doesn't mind a little bit of scrubbing. It's one of the better papers. You couldn't do this. This is a bit shiny, so you couldn't do this amount of scrubbing on the Kirby's or on the Colin Thompson. Just don't like it. You can do a little bit, but not as much as I'm doing on here. But these pages just about allow you to do that little bit of scrubbing with a damp brush. But the more scrub you do, and the more rubbing and the more water, the more chance you have of destroying your page. So if we're really lucky, that will change to a nice pale. Because the one at the back wants to be dark as well. Oh, I kind of like that colour. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope you're having a pleasant afternoon, evening, or day, wherever you are on the planet. We're colouring for therapy, so this is just that simple, and it's all dried instantly. About 20 seconds, and it wants to be dry because your page really doesn't want to be wet for any length of time after that. It really doesn't. You really do need to keep that to a bare minimum, really. So you have to work fairly fast. But the other advantage of this is you are actually practicing your brush skills. So any type of colouring, you are practicing your brush skills. So it's not just therapeutic. I might go over a little bit. And the idea is don't beat yourself up if you go over a bit or if you put a wrong colour. It's a colour book page. It's just a bit of paper and a bit of colour. You know, we're doing this for therapy. We're not doing this for art, really. We want to make a good job of it, but we're just doing it to chillax and to pass our time, because we've got lots of time on our hands for the next few months. And I've got a challenge of finishing some of my colour books because I've got so many. And again, I need to be comfortable to get that angle right. Let's see. Just see if I can put those rulers. I have bought some stencils which I was going to show, but the idea is just to chillax at the minute, not to be looking at buying other things. So in there with that. And your dear little brush is not going to last forever. Scrubbing this way, I don't often do this. It's a bigger space. I think I've got one more or two more of those, and then I'm going to do these, I think, a different colour. So again, start at the bottom, very strong. See, if you were a watercolour paper and you scrubbed, you wouldn't get a line. And I do love this ivory coloured paper. So again, I don't do backgrounds because I do love. So I want quite a bit of colour on this one because it's a big space. So again, if you can get rid of the colour line there. But again, be careful scrubbing on any paper. But it's just nice to be able to watercolour, not necessarily on a watercolour paper. And this allows you to do that because we're not using too much water. But I don't know how it fares with other brushes. I've tried other brushes and I just kind of get on with them. Whether I'm squeezing them too much or not, I don't know. But I just like this one particular brush. So, again, turn it on its edge to get a tiny corner. and this one will have enough colour on it to do this. And I don't need very much to do the next one either. See if we have a difference of contrast. That works quite well too. And last of all, I've got to, so if I go on here very gently, I can pick up colour. So that's, the colour will never set on these. You can always pinch a bit of colour from somewhere else. And then this one. So if I'm clever enough, I can do this one. I can do this one with the same amount of colour. And just a touch for that one. But I said if we go here, we're going to get it lighter. If we go here, it's going to be darker. So just go back on that bit. So I think I've got 4 here to do. Not missed a petal. Haven't missed a petal. So this is a good time to look at the whole page again and see how it's going. So my hand's getting a bit coloured, but that's the beauty of this brush. You know, you can just wipe it on your hands and it will come clean. I need a colour for down here. So we've got a pink and then a red. So we'll need something in between, I think. So I think I might do these tea rose red, I think, perhaps. Or did I use geranium? I used geranium for something. Oh, I used geranium pink for that. So let's have a look at. Don't want a blue flower. I think we'll keep in the pink range. I think I'm going to do these geranium pink. So again, pick up some colour. And just manipulate that out. I'm not always going to get the watercolour I need, but the watercolour effect, but as I say, it's not going to bother me too much. So again, if you turn your page, you don't go over the line. It's just, I'm not turning my page, and that's why I'm going over the line a bit, because I just don't have that control that I would have. And you can do this one-handed, which is really, really good as well. As I said, I did it when I was holding up his hand in the hospital, so you can do it one-handed which is jolly good. Again, I've got my bit of paper so don't contaminate the other pages. And these colours are very strong. They'll go through several edges and destroy your page. So these ink tens kind of really and then the last one. And you do have to work at this speed if you want to get the watercolor effect and you don't want too many lines, because again we can't scrub it out. So just steady, but you want to avoid a line, and that's why we have to work fairly quickly. If it's a smaller space, it doesn't matter so much, but if it's a fairly large and one last petal. I think I've got them all. I seem to have some pink here, so I'm just going to make that gold, and I've made that wrong, so never mind. That wants to be gold, really. So I'll clean the brush, and then I need to do the green leaves on these, and the hair. So again, 3 hours for a double page. It's not too bad. So I'll try this mountain green. I've got another leaf down here. Again, if you do the bottom first and then the top, a natural difference, so it makes it look a bit different. So you just keep plodding along and picking them off as you see them, and you learn to get more paint for a bigger leaf and less paint for a bigger. But think of shapes and how you're going to get that watercolor effect. Or just, and again like this one, I can just do a very pale one because I knew I wouldn't be able to get a gradient with that one. So I'll do this one on the outside, and then I'll turn the page because you can't get that lovely wrist action and the control you need to stay in the line. So I'll do this one first. So thanks guys for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're all colouring and keeping safe and wading yourselves through these colour books that we've been collecting for quite a few years now. And I don't think I've got a complete colour book coloured. I can honestly say I don't think I have, which is a little bit disgraceful. So this is the time to colour. Now, if I have another little leaf, I'll probably do it because I've got some green on here. So this little one here. And I always pick the easiest things first. I pick the flower petals, and then I do the leaves, and then I leave everything that's obscure till last. And I do that with most of the colour books because I just find if you get some colour down, like a certain pink or red for a flower, then it gives you an idea of what else you want to put with that colour. Or some people just sit and plot it all out. But when we're doing this colour for therapy, this colour to kind of keep ourselves calm and de-stress, we don't want to be messing about thinking about colours. We really kind of just want to touch and go. So yes, I've had a bit of a think of colour, but not to the extent where I've kind of obsessed with it, because then it becomes a chore. It doesn't become, takes the therapy out of it. And that's definitely not what we want. At the moment, we want to de-stress, keep calm, colour, have a little bit of mindlessness. This is just colouring is just half mindlessness, shall we say. So you're in control, but it's your subconscious almost that's picking the colours. And that's how to de-stress. Stop your mind thinking and just colour. I've missed one there. I've got a big one there. So that's the underneath. So I hope this has helped. Oh, she just sits for hours and barks, does Snoopy Doops. She can do that 24 hours when she's in the mood. She really is a bad puppy. And she's barking at the other dog, or Alfie, because she wants to sit down and he's in the way. So that's what she stands and barks in front of them, and the other two look at her and go, yeah. So you're barking at me. What are you barking at me for? So it doesn't do any sense things, but I'm going to do the same butterfly there. So that should kind of gel it together. And when I've done the hair, oh, wish she'd shut up. But she won't. Sorry, guys. She will not shut up. Unless you get Alfie off the seat and mess about. So we need some middles for these flowers. And also need to do the little butterflies. But I'm going to do this one first. If I do it the same colours as this one, if I can remember. Oh, behave yourself, Mrs. I'm going to use peacock green. It appears that Alfie's not being a gentleman. So I've got a little bit of that green there. Now I've got that green. I've only got a few colours. I'm going to put this green here because it kind of lends itself to this pink. We live in a row of little cottages with 6 pairs of semis, and we all have dogs. Apart from one way, everybody else has dogs. I haven't missed any leaves on that one. So these leaves I've done differently. That leaf I've done differently. Now I need a stem for this one, but I need it to go back into the hair. So it's got to be a bit olivey, I think. I might do an olive. And then that ties that one in. And so I'm thinking we go back to the green olive. And it's nearly finished as this green olive. There's not much left of it at all. But it's still there. So let's see what we've got. It might just make us, we might just have enough, I think. Let's just have a look. Remember, there's colour all over this one. So I apologise about the barking, guys. It's just an occupational habit around here. I'm getting like Hilda Baker, aren't I? Saying the wrong word. And my girls are almost 20 and almost 22, and they can't shut a door without banging it. I don't know if anybody else finds. They just can't shut a door without banging it. Everything's bang, bang, bang. And I do tell her that this is a 200-year-old cottage and it doesn't really like being banged. I think I've done all the leaves. So I think it's almost time to replenish the olive square. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. Hope everybody's okay. I don't know who else comes on at this time. I've got to keep an eye on the time because I've got a phone appointment, which I'm quite pleased about because I didn't fancy going to hospital anyway. So let's see. And there's always some little spaces to just sneak into. Oopsie. Bear with me a second. Just saw that one. So we've done that one and that one. Put a little curl there, so find a little bit more colour. It's a little bit coming off this now because I am kind of really rubbing it. I just found that one that I've missed. Done all that curl, done all that curl. So I think I've done that one. Just do that one a bit better. So all these are going to morph into a grey brown that I've got for the hair, and then we can have a highlight. Now in this set of Peerless, there is a set called hair colors. There's the photo tinting set, there's a dry spot set, which I have, and then there's one called hair colors, which I have, but I haven't got it up and running. It's in the set. So I think I need to do those. Definitely need to do the wings of the little, and I want to do them quite a bright colour. So we've got butterfly wings. I think I'm going to do that one inside this one here. So it matches. And butterfly wing. And you must be comfortable, because if you try to put your wrist around the wrong way, it'll flip the brush and you'll go over your line. And then I think I'm going to do these little ones. I think I'm going to do these the same, just simple butterfly wings. There's another one here, and there is a little tiny ladybird as well there. There's a ladybird here. So we'll do her next, and we'll do her very bright colour. She's a very important little ladybird that eats nasty bugs that eat flowers. So she's very important. I need a middle for my flowers now, I think. I must clean the brush first. I was going to use this colour somewhere else, but oh, found a caterpillar. Found a caterpillar. What else have we got? So I have a chrome orange, which I think would look quite nice in the middle of this one. So if we do all the tops first, and then we draw down. And I think I'm actually going to use a cadmium yellow for the others. So just need it quite strong because it's a beautiful, strong colour, is this. And then strip down for the highlight. So I've got two more to do. Oh, I went over the line with the pink, but as I say, look, I've lifted it off now. So these colours are watercolours. They will lift off. It's just that when we're on a page of ordinary paper, we can't always do that. So now I'm going over to cadmium yellow, and I think I might try and do the same thing. So it's a different colour, but we can't really tell that it's a different colour. So you get many different shades from one. Oh, I found another ladybird, and I realised that that is quite a dull ladybird. It's not a bright ladybird. So apologies, Mrs. Ladybird. I do apologise. I've got a caterpillar. He's going to be an orange caterpillar. These are going to have little orange bodies. Where's the other one gone? Come out. Wherever you are. So that sorted those out. I think I need some yellow spots on here. I'm going to use cadmium yellow spots. So now I need to make that one the same as that one. So I need geranium pink for this bit. Sorry guys, I'm in my own little world colouring in. So I need that, I think it was the amethyst purple for the drops. and then I think I'll put pink around there. So I've got some purple on here now, so I think I need purple. She could have purple mascara. And again, this little brush does kind of do some really tiny spaces. Decided I can use the amethyst. On these as well. Just a gentle little stroke. That means we can colour these in now. Have we missed anything else? I need some yellow to stripe the stripy pants there. And the yellow I used, I think, brilliant yellow. So again, stripy pants. And I've got some nice ochre colours for bodies and things. I've just got the hair to do now, so that's again, it's going to take me about 3 hours for this page, so this double page spread, so that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. I need a highlight. I'm going to use my other browns, I think. If we use a dark brown, so I've missed a couple of those little leaf things, haven't I? So if we do, this is a really dark brown. What we have to do is gently tease that out. And then we need to pick some more. And tease that out. and then we need to and we should get a natural highlight, hopefully. This should be quite dark under there, actually. And again, you just keep going, and eventually it'll end up looking like a wave. And again, put a little bit of paper there. That back on this page. So that looks like it's working. So again, you've got to get a little bit more comfortable, which I have not been. So I need to kind of go from dark now to light. And then we'll take that one up there. And it will naturally become a highlight. Then so you just keep having to pick off these colours here and have kind of a little bit of a wave in it. Oh my goodness me, I've sat in a certain place, a certain position which I shouldn't have done. It's almost finished. So we need to pick up some colour here. And I've made a mistake there because this is the hair. So now I have to go, oops, I have to go back to this side. Oh, thank you, Melody. Thank you. So I have to go to this side. I was using that one, wasn't I? No, I was using sepia. And we want the dark here again. So quite dark. And if you just follow it round, it goes paler. And then if you come up with a dark, they should meet in the middle. And that'll give you your natural highlight. So it takes a bit of practice to get used to this. So I want a lot of quite dark under here, because this is going to show off the highlights of the other one. So you take that out, and then it becomes a highlight. And then we take that bit there. down here. So you can kind of judge now. Put that little bit of paper in there. And again, you've got to get comfortable because as I said, I've got a ridge here that's really hurting my wrist. You've got to be comfortable. Again, it's a big space, so we've got to be a little bit wetter than normal. Take that up to there. And that goes off to create another highlight. And I think we've got another dark there, but it's got to be a little bit lighter because it's almost on top now. There is. So now when we take that down to light, it's going to be a lovely highlight next to the dark. So it's going to be darker. That will be lighter. And we just have to turn it the right way around so we can have a look and see what's happening. So again, up here, it's kind of dark. And then when it gets to here, we get an actual highlight. And you have to work out, is this solid or is it see-through? The other thing we need to do now is to go dark to light. So here, we've got the highlight on the top of her head. So we've got that natural highlight. I'm going to do the other side as well. So start there. I've got this thing sticking in my arm, so I'm not very comfortable. That's better. The more I think about it, the more I think that this possibly could be solid. Because there's no lines up. But I don't think it's going to be solid here. I don't think it's going to be solid here. I'm not sure what to do with that. I'm not sure if it's maybe solid from there, I think. So I might do it a darker. I like the idea that it was see-through, but I think I might do it dark. And I've missed one or two little green things as well. And I've got the middles of these to do, so let's do that. And then I'll come back to that crown in a second. So I do love the peelers because you can get some quite dramatic colours from there. I missed the, so I want the yellow one. I missed some little yellow top things. Somewhere. I don't know where they've gone now. I've got, I'm pretty sure if I do chrome yellow, I think I'm going to do these chrome yellow as well, I think. So you can do different spaces. And then come back and you've got a bit of variation. So like a little bit like I did when I did the roses. And then I think I'm going to do marigold. I think I'm going to do marigold yellow for the centers of these. Again, it's another quite strong. Every one of these are very strong. And then I think we need a pale green to just that. Perhaps not a pale green. A bit of a scarlet. So I don't think I'm going to do a skin. I think I like this as it is. I think I might just leave it as is. It does have an ivory background, so technically she's not white, she's ivory, so she could have very pale ivory skin. I think I'm going to leave that. I think I like it as it is. It was fun to do. It was easy. I like the colours, so I think I'm going to leave that as is. So thanks, guys. Have you? Oh, hi, Jessica. Welcome to Bunny Designs. I've just finished the page in. Oh, I'm going to have to Google that because it'll drive me nuts. Bear with me a second. Internet's a bit slow. Why doesn't it tell you? Oh, so is it age then? Is it age? Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. I apologise. I don't know what it is. Yes, thank you. We're all plodding along, and that's why I wanted to do this touch and go system rather than a complicated page. But I might get the pastels out. We'll see how we go. Whereas the Harry Potter pages can take you know, me 10 hours if I do them in realistic time. I like this, and it's taken just about 3 hours, but it's a double page spread, and it's the one brush. There's no mess. And I really like that. I mean, you can use this method with a set of paints. You can use this same method with the set of, I use the Derwent Inktense watercolors, because again, that brush sits in there. So that is a good little set. But I do like my little book watercolors with my pale colors and my other colors in as well. So I do tend to use this quite a lot. But you can use this method with any good quality water-based pens. You don't wet them first, you just touch and go. And that will give you just enough color on the end to release it and make it into a watercolor effect. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. It's Seasons. I must write that down because it drives me potty. I did put a note before. I'm sure I put a note before. I have done a face. I think this looks a little bit like Peerless. So I have done a big space with color. So yeah, I have done quite a few pages in this one. That one I didn't touch I think this is Peerless as well. I didn't touch the face. This one I didn't either. This looks very much like the Peerless colors. So I don't tend to do the face. I don't tend to do the face. You just write that down. Oh, blending pen. So I shall remember that now. So I love this book. I like the fact that we can, again, I've used to be naughty and just opening it up and doing a page that I kind of fancied doing, rather than starting from the front, because I do tend to miss quite a lot of color, quite a lot of pages out. So I said I would like to start at the beginning of a book and work through. This one's scratched and then manipulated, and some I've done and some I haven't. So there should be a video on that. So I scratch a bit of colour on and then activate it. But I do like the Peerless because it's just the touch and go system is really good. And actually, when I did it, it wasn't doing, but when I opened it now and looked at it, I thought, oh, I kind of like that. Didn't think too much about too many colours. And again, I think it's important at this time that we do things which are easy. As you can get your pencils out and your pastels out and you can spend hours, but that's not what we're about. We really do need. I know what's wrong. I've flattened my desk. I had it at an angle, and I've been stooped over, so that's why my back is aching. So you've got to be comfortable. But I quite enjoyed doing that. That was, and again, I haven't got such a watercolor effect, but I've got some little highlights along the way. Excuse me. Yes, Melody, I have. I think this is going to be one of the books that I try to finish. Because I said we'd have a Kirby week. I think we might have to have a Hannah Carlson week. I love these gorgeous colors. So I've used all sorts. I've used pastels. Excuse me. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Well, hopefully I try and pop on every day and do a page, and then that's going to really make a dent in my and again, this book I do very quickly because it's fantasy, so you don't have to think too much about colors. Excuse me. You can kind of do lots of bright colors, and that's why I do love the peerless for that particular reason. Oh, excuse me. So I haven't put the peerless in because, as I say, I've got to sort out the new colors. So my little book is getting there, but it's not. It's not as it was. But I do like this cover better than the old one, so I should be using it a lot more. But as I say, you can use. What I might do is I could pop back on. I don't know if anybody else is streaming now. I'll just make myself a coffee and have some headache pills because my headache is bad. And I could pop back on and work in the touch and go system with just the Derwent Inktense watercolors. Because again, that's the touch and go system that I kind of like. Because it would be quite nice to kind of finish a book. I have to say, I do not have a book that's finished. And the touch and go system here, you've only got 24 colors. So you've only got the 24 colors, but you need to do a color swatch because of that. I've transferred mine from this one. And I might do that actually next because I want to transfer these. I bought these for my daughter for Christmas and she's not looked at them. I did buy them for a birthday. I can't remember. I want to transfer them into here, so because I bought her both sets, and you can't really tell what they are. So I bought her one of these tins, so I might transfer them. That's a little job to do. Again, we need to do these little tedious little jobs, and this is a bit tedious because you've got to keep these in order because they are not named, and if you mix them up, it's very difficult to find the colors right. I did that, and I still think I've got 2 colors named wrong. It doesn't matter as such, but it makes life a lot easier. So if you've got the 2, this is what I bought her. So I bought her a new one of these. And the idea is that you put the sets in. And you want them in color order. And then you can put them in. Now, luckily, I've got mine, so it's going to be easy. So I've got the sun yellow will go there, and then the mango will go next. But if you haven't got this color guide, you've got to really play with these colors to find out what's the colors best. Mine are a bit mixed up there, because when you're looking at these colors and these 3 colors, you really have no idea what they are because they're very dark. So I might stop this video because it's a bit long, and come back and show how to put these in, how I organized my Derwent Inktense watercolors, because otherwise you'd have to carry 2 sets with you and it's a bit of a pain. That's a lot better system. So I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if anybody else is streaming this afternoon. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. I could do that for 2 hours. Yes, I think it's Chinese green. So I've put it with the greens, that one. I think it is actually mango, is it? Is it in that one? It's sherbet lemon. So I put my sherbet lemon. Yes, it's sherbet lemon, and that's sherbet lemon. And I would call that a Chinese green. So I put it with my greens. Because when you have it next to there, we don't have a lemon yellow. There's a sun yellow, which is warmer. And there's kiwi, which is that no, kiwi isn't that one, is it? Yes, that's the kiwi, which is that one. And then we've got a teal green, and then we go over here for an onion. So it's, and I mixed mine up, and I was in an awful pickle for a while. And then what I shall do is take this sponge out and put it like I've done mine. Although I pinched it today, I've been using it. It's about somewhere. Oh, I don't know where I put it now, but somewhere there's a sponge. So I put the sponge in there. And the reason I've done the other reason is the Derwent #1 brush fits in it as well. You've got to put the lid on, obviously. But the Derwent #1 brush fits in there. So that is really one complete system. Whereas here, you've got 2 brushes to put together, which is an absolute pain. And I've tried this brush, and I don't like it as much as I like that brush. So I don't use this brush. I will put it in there for my daughter because she uses it on watercolor paper, so she can do that. Yes, they are the same colors and your Inktense pencils and blocks are light fast, and I think they're light fast as well. So I could come back and color that one. I just have to make myself a drink, guys, because my throat's a bit dry. No, Melody, I bought these for my daughter. This is part of her Christmas present. I bought those for my daughter, but I think did I send some to you? I was going to send some to you, Melody. I don't know if you had this set. I can't remember, but this is the set that I was talking about. But I bought these for my daughter it was part of her Christmas present because she likes the Inktense blocks, and so I thought, because she does a lot of sketching, so I bought her the set because she loves bright colors. In fact, she's just brought me my tin back so I need to get this done for her so that she can actually, I've been meaning to do it. But in this set, it's different. So I want to do her this kind of thing, and then she can use them. But she will use these once she's tried them. But I bought them. It's the Amy that did animation illustration. So I bought them for I don't know if it was a birthday for Christmas. I think it was part of a Christmas present. My other daughter does a lot of felting and crocheting, so I bought her. She got crocheting things instead, but that was my daughter's main present. Because on the website they're £25 each. Now they're a lot cheaper now, but that was her bit. Oh, I did. I sent, yes. I thought I'd sent you them because they're gorgeous, aren't they? They're really vibrant. You could almost put them on a par. In fact, we can do a comparison. But I do love them, and being a pan, they will last a bit longer than the Inktense. Not the Inktense, the Peerless, because there's quite a lot of colour there. But they're better used in this scenario rather than, I mean, you can then mix the colours, you can mix them, but you can use the touch and go system, and you've got the 24 colours and a brush. So again, you're just having this to carry around with you and your colour book. So I'll come back and do that because I need to do that for her because she needs to start using them. That one's a bit deeper than this one. It's a little bit deeper than that one, but I bought this one. I bought this one second hand. I think they're about £10. So they're not too expensive. So it should be, yeah, it is. It's identical to mine. I didn't have it shut properly. And then when you put the colour guide in, it just holds them in place that bit better. Because the thing is, you can't stick these in, or you could stick them in, but that's not the problem. That's the problem. It's not the pan. These are not sticky, so nearly all of them will pop out. They'll all fall out. So I've just put them in there, and I've not really bothered to keep these stuck down. You can bend these over, these holders, but because I've got this here, that's the only protection they've got. And I usually put a little headband around it, and I know it's not going to fall out because, as I say, you can't always most of them will pop out. Now I did wedge them in long ways. Oh, I've broken that one. That was not good. I wedged them in long ways, but then I thought, well, that's pointless doing that because they're always in that way. So I turned them round and forced them in, but I've broken one. So we're better just making sure that we put our colour guide. And again, we do need a colour guide because when you're looking at these, you haven't really got a clue what they're going to do. And yet that one's that viridian, almost a viridian colour. So I'll pop off and I'll come back in about 10 minutes and I'll do that. And then I'll colour this page, if that's okay, guys. So have a wonderful afternoon and I shall return hopefully shortly. Thanks, guys.